for none can compare to your matchless worth. To sing unto the ancient of days. Your kingdom shall reign over all the earth. Sing to the ancient of days. For none can compare to your matchless worth. Sing to the ancient, just the drums. Your kingdom shall reign over all the earth. Sing unto the ancient of days. For none can compare to your matchless worth. Sing unto the ancient of days. Sing to the ancient of days. We'll sing to the ancient of days. I sing it unto. We'll sing to the ancient of days. For every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare heart for you. My master reaches to me. Holy, set apart for you, our master. We're ready to do your will. We're ready to do your will. We're ready to do your will. Ready to do your will. Is it a fragrance when I pour my oil out? Is it a life laid down in the air I lay my vows? Is it a soul I sing? There's every ability. Just tell me what moves you. Just tell me what moves you. Is it a fragrance? Then I'll pour my oil out. Is it a life laid down in the air against my vows? Is it a soul I sing? There's every melody. Just tell me what moves you. Tell me what moves you. I just wanna move your heart. Because I wanna do, I just wanna stand in awe and pour my love on you, no matter how much the cost. I freely give it all to you, all to you. I just wanna move your heart and come within your gaze, right there in your presence, God. Is where I wanna stay, oh, just to dwell in your house. Waste my hours and my days for you, oh, you. Is it a fragrance that I pour my oil out? Is it a life laid down the air I get my vows? Is it a soul I sing? There's every melody. Just tell me what moves you. Tell me what moves you. Is it a fragrance when I pour my oil out? Is it a life laid down the air and my vows? Is it a soul I sing? There's every melody. Just tell me what moves you. Tell me what moves you. Just tell me what moves you. Tell me what moves you. Just 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 tell me what moves you. I just wanna move your heart. It's all I wanna do. I just wanna stand in awe and pour my love on you, no matter how much the cost. I really give it all to you, all to you. I just wanna move your heart, get caught with your gaze. Then I pour my oil out. Is it a life laid down? The air I give my vows. Is it a song I sing? Then here's every melody. Just tell me what moves you. Just tell me what moves you. I just wanna move your heart. It's all I wanna do. I just want to stand in awe and pour my love on you, no matter how much the cost. I'm freely giving all to you, all to you.
Lord, Lord, what have you required?
主啊，你要我们的是什么？
Clean hands and a pure heart?
纯洁的心。
Lord, how can we reach that?
那主啊，我们怎么样能够做到？
I thank you that your love from the Garden of Eden extends even till today, that you would come out and bring us home.
主啊，感谢你，你的爱一直到现在，是你自己亲自的出来把我们带回家。
Welcome to Church of Zion, everyone.
欢迎来到西安教会。
You can go to churchofzion.org/give for the offering.
11奉献的话，可以往上那个链接 churchofzion.org/give 上面奉献。
And also, please have your communion elements ready. We'll have communion toward the end of the service.
大家可以准备好圣餐所用的饼和杯，我们在结束的时候会有一起领圣餐。
For those of us who are new, that could be a little bit of bread and something to drink.
可以是面包，或者可以还有就是可以饮用的。
After service, we have the prayer team, Team Donald. So
今
please
天
raise your hand after the service and someone will pray for you.
今天这个服饰的团队是 Donald 团队，大家在结束的时候可以举手，然后我们会有人来帮你来祷告。
And we will pass it over to the pastoral team.
我们会下面把时间交给牧师团队。
Good morning, church
早上好
family.
教会家人们。
So the past few weeks in this season, God has really been highlighting both walking with compassion and walking with Jesus.
在过去的几周时间里面，我们一直是把焦点放在与耶稣同行，以及带着谦卑怜悯的心。
And even with what we know, the flooding that is happening in the Lower Mainland, our hearts are stirred with compassion.
即使是现在目前这个不容易的这个洪水的这段时间，我们的心也是充满着这个怜悯。
And I think many of us in our hearts are asking, what can we do with our hands, and what can we do with can we do to help?
可能很多人在问，那我们能够做什么呢？
And really, this is a natural expression of love from our hearts, whether if there was a disaster of this kind, first in 500 years or not.
这实际上是我们里面的一个自然的反应，不管这样的一个灾难是不是比如说500年一次的，
And we want to continue to pull on God's heart to reveal to us what it is to walk in, and maybe even by the end of today, we will have some ideas as a church, what we can do in this next season of how we can act on compassion.
所以也是求神继续来感动我们的心，可能就是在结束之后，我们作为一个教会的整体，怎么样能够来在这个不容易的时候，能够来给出的帮助。
And we recognize when we're in a family, there are some that carry a gift or carry an ease, or they have broken through in some ways where we may not have.
在这个家中，我们可能也会能够认得出来，有些人在我们当中可能已经有一个突破，他们可能有一个恩膏，这可能是我们别的人没有的。
Right. Sometimes maybe it's a talent like a worship or playing an instrument. Some carry it and some others don't.
就像我们敬拜这个能够弹乐器，可能有些人能，有些人不能。
But when we're a family, we walk with, or we walk on the trail that others may have blazed and walked ahead.
作为我们这个教会也是，可能我们走在一条小路上，可能别的人可能已经以前走过。
And where it may be difficult if we were to start from scratch, because others have gone ahead, we can follow, and we know that this is a way that that is possible.
可能对我们来说，要开始可能并不容易，但是因为别的人已经在前面走，我们可以来跟随。
And so, coming out from the overflow of this recent Tuesday night meeting,
因为最近星期二晚上的祷告会，真的是看到有一个恩膏的流淌。
We had the cherished privilege of listening to some beautiful king's daughters share their testimony of what God is doing in their life.
我们真的是很荣幸有这个机会来听到很美丽的那个王的女儿们来分享他们生命的故事。
And this fruit just doesn't come out of the ground out of nowhere.
这个果子好像就是从地里面出来。
And if we dig a little further, some of the stories, testimonies we heard from this week were 4 generations already from the mom and the grandparents that tilled that fruit.
如果你挖得更深的话，实际上这个果子已经是一个世代以来，从可能祖父辈、祖母辈那里所流淌下来的。
And then we realized right under our own noses in Zion is a family that has been living with compassion and spending time with Jesus. These 2 are kind of hallmarks of this family.
所以如果我们实际上就在我们的鼻子底下就可以看到有一个很美好的家庭，真的是带着神的怜悯在我们当中行走，是一个很美好的一个见证。
The stories that they could tell, but often don't tell, are incredible of how God sustains them in the most terrible environments.
在他们生命的见证，他们实际上是可以来说，但是常常是隐藏着没有说，真的是能够彰显神这个极大的作为，是让知道他们在这很不容易的状况下面，怎样神是来拖住他们走过。
And so more than, again, in the last few weeks, this is more than a message of 3 points of writing it down and how can I apply it.
这实际上是真的是一个信息，是让我们能够怎样能够写下来，能够在我们的生命中来把它实际的行出来。
We're inviting all of you to open your hearts and your hands to receive like this is a family portion for us.
所以让我们打开心，打开手来接受，真的是一个家人的那一部分。
That as Medhat and Hoda share, that we want to tap into the portion of compassion and living closely hearing Jesus. This is the lifestyle that we want.
当马哈后代来分享的时候，让我们真的是能够连接上去，能够是知道这是神希望我们能够活出来的，是他们一个满有怜悯这样的爱的生命。
And I know oftentimes in Zion, we say, Holy Spirit, we want to allow you to speak and have your way.
在像我们常常是说，我们会给你自由，能够来发表你自己想要说的。
And this was the heart that we invited Medhat and Hoda to share.
这也是我们的心，让马哈后代能够来分享。
We said, we see that you carry this breakthrough anointing of walking in compassion and spending time with Jesus.
我们知道你有这样的一个真的是一个恩膏，是和耶稣同行，能够行在这个满有怜悯的这个爱中。
And we ask you to share on that, but if God put something else on your heart, feel free.
我们是让你们来分享，如果神有别的东西放在你们的心中，你们也很自由的可以来分享。
So we're going to give them freedom to share as a couple, maybe even as a family, what the Lord has put on their heart. And maybe we'll even ask them a few questions to tease some things out that they probably wouldn't share on their own.
我们也是给他们有这样自由的时间，作为家人一个家，可能我们还会可能有时间问他们一些问题，可能有些是他们平时不一定会分享。
My apologies for those that may not know.
可能对有一些还不知道。
Medhat and Hoda have God put a calling and grace on their lives in Egypt to go to the most neglected slums of the city.
马哈后达 他们在埃及，神给他们这样的呼召，到那些最被忽略的可能贫民窟那些地方来服侍。
In a sense, rescue these especially neglected girls that have been left or abused or just sorry, well, let's leave.
去拯救那些就是在这些地方好像没有人来管的，完全被忽略的，甚至被虐待的那些女孩们。
Where they live in or near these garbage dumps, and that's where they are able to collect things, whether to sell or to live off of.
他们就是生活在那些好像垃圾桶的旁边，就是从这里面去捡一些东西来维持他们的生活。
And through this ministry, and in these dark, dark places, the life of Jesus is transforming these girls in miraculous, supernatural ways.
就是在这些地方，耶稣的生命完全的来转化了，改变了那些女孩。
And obviously, when you're going into dark places and taking back places for the kingdom, you're going to have resistance.
当然，当你去那些黑暗的地方，好像要夺过来，为神来夺过来的时候，你肯定会遇到这个阻力。
And so it is in these places of darkness where compassion comes in and is restoring and changing. And that's a little bit of the background of I want to paint before they share.
这就是在这些黑暗的地方，真的是需要蛮有怜悯的这样一个心，所以这也是我分享的有一点点他们的背景。
Actually, I don't know if Mama Lucy or Papa Daniel want to fill in any little bit more before they share.
不知道妈妈 Lucy、爸爸 Daniel 是不是有一些在他们分享前有一些想要讲的。
Just one little slight added to what it was like a garbage mountain, not just
实际上他们在的地方实际上是个垃圾山。
It's like you cannot imagine in the 30-40 degrees centigrade what that would be like.
你很难想象在30-40度这样高温下面会是什么样的。
That's all.
这就是我要说的。
So our dear family Manhattan Hoda, please share your heart with us, God's heart with us.
Manhattan Hoda 亲爱的家人，你们真的是可以把神的心跟我们来分享。
Thank you, Pastor Caleb, and thank you, Mama Lu and Papa Daniel.
谢谢Caleb 牧师，谢谢妈妈 Lucy、Papa Daniel。
Church of Zion has been like very supportive to our ministry and to us personally.
西安教会对我们的事工以及对我们这个家都是非常的帮助，有很大的帮助。
I remember when we left to Egypt and they laid hands on us.
记得
we were
记得我们当时去埃及的时候，他们为我们按手祷告。
We didn't know what was waiting for us ahead, but we were empowered by the Spirit of God before we left.
我们不知道在我们前面等候我们的是什么，但是真的是神的能力，神加给我们这个能力。
I always wondered, why did the Lord prepare us before we left that we should not love our lives even unto death and stuff like that. And I was saying to myself, I'm going to help others. Who would hurt me?
我不知道为什么神当初来预备我们，在我们去之前，让我们知道，就是圣经里面讲到，我们不惜要来舍弃我们的生命。我想我们是去帮助别人的，为什么还会有人要伤害我们呢？
But the Lord, like He insisted to teach us that we won't be moved, and we will stay firm.
所以神也是教导我们，让我们是在我们的信心当中能够来坚立稳固。
And when we went to Egypt, we found out why.
当我们去到埃及的 时候，我们才知道是为什么。
We faced a lot of things,
需要面对很多的东西，
but one of the things that I promote and I would highlight as the thing that created a lot of compassion in our hearts was persecution.
但是有一点我想要重点讲的是，让我们心里面充满怜悯的地方，就是我们遇到很多逼迫、
The offense and the persecution was tremendous,
冒犯、逼迫，真的是非常的大，
totally unexpected.
是我们所没有预计到的。
I remember in the garbage collectors area where Mama Lou is like pointing at, I remember that one day we felt we wanted to create awareness among the people in the area.
在刚刚妈妈路所讲的那个垃圾山那个地方，实际上我们是想让当地的人能够来意识到这个问题。
Because we heard that they're spreading rumors, excuse me, spreading rumors about us and stuff, and we felt we will just go like door to door and talk to people in the streets and tell them who we are.
我记好像他们当初是有一些谣言，关于我们的谣言，所以我们是好像街道上一家一家的来告诉他们我们是谁。
So after the meeting, Metat and I and like 4 or 5 girls, like we were walking in the streets.
所以在这个会以后，美汉和我还有4、5个女孩，我们就在街道上走。
And I looked behind me and I found 150 girls.
我往回看，看到有150个女孩，
And maybe more than that. But I looked behind me and I said, "What are you guys doing? Why are you coming behind me?"
所以我在想，为什么你们在做什么？为什么你们在我们后面跟着呢？
And they said, "We want to affirm you as well."
他们说，我们也想跟你来建立你们，来兼顾你们。
It doesn't look bad in Egypt when you walk like that because like it's very busy, so you don't really feel that it's a riot or anything.
可能因为在埃及就大家都很忙，这个街道上可能有这样的情景，可能你也觉得不会好像有怎么样的问题。
So we talk to people in the streets. We talk to people that are like getting their hands in the garbage and everything in the streets as well.
所以我们是和在街上的人啊，跟他们有机会来交通。
15 minutes after or 20 minutes after, we looked at the end of the street. We found like more than 50 men coming with sticks, like hockey sticks, and chains, and coming towards us.
15、20分钟以后，好像我们看到街上有大概50个男的，手中拿着棒子啊，拿着链条啊，好像朝我们方向走过来。
By the way, that was like 5 years ago or so.
这大概是5年前的事情。
After we've been like through fire and everything, so it didn't really move a hair in our hair.
当然，当时我们已经经历过一些火的试炼，所以对我们来说好像也没有太来惊吓到我们。
So Medhat and I realized that we are dead and our girls might be hurt as well. So we turned around and we said, run in the opposite direction.
我们意识到是不是美哈和我可能会被他们所杀，那些我们的孩子可能也会被伤害到，所以我们就对他们说逃，快点朝相反的方向，快点逃。
But we both stayed put and we felt in our hearts later on when we were talking, we felt in our hearts what Nehemiah have said, like, would a man like me run?
但是他和我们2个人觉得，我们心里面觉得我们需要待在那个地方，就像尼希米所讲的，像我们这样的人，我们应该逃吗？
I mean, run away for sure. I hope you translated that, Steve.
我指的是逃走。
So, like they were approaching us, and as they were approaching, like 3 girls insisted to stay with us that day. They said, no, if you're gonna face them, we're gonna face them with you.
因为他们那些男的是朝着我们方向，是朝着我们过来， 所以当时有3个女孩愿意留下来和我们在一起。他们说，如果你们要面对的话，那我们也会愿意跟你们一起来面对。
Now that we have the technology of Zoom, I can invite them one day so they can share themselves their point of view of what happened.
当然，我们现在有 Zoom 可以邀请他们来分享当初他们是怎么来看的。
So as they were approaching us, I ran towards them. I didn't run. I walked towards them steadily.
当他们朝我们过来的时候，我没有逃走，我是很坚定的是朝他们的方向走过去。
And you know that a woman in this area is nothing.
你要知道，当时是作为一个妇女，在当地实际上是没有什么地位的。
So as they came closer and I came closer and met and the rest of the girls followed, like we had a lot of authority to stop them.
所以当他们过来，而我是朝着他们走过去，Mahad 还有3个女孩跟我在一起，真的是我们是有很大的一个权柄在那个地方来制止他们。
They were not even able to speak. I don't know that the word stutter or like they went they couldn't even utter a word.
他们甚至都没法正常的说话，好像这个像结巴一样。
They were all shaking.
他们都在颤抖。
They are the ones with the sticks, and we 4 of us were very like firm and steady and like we did not fear anything.
他们都是带着棍子的男人，而我们就是几个人都是手无寸铁的要面对他们。
I would like you to hear the story from one of our girls one day that when a man started to speak and he went, she told him, stop, you're not allowed to speak.
我可以让我们的一个女孩来分享，当一个男的对我们说话，这样好像口吃的说话，我们其中一个女孩就是命令他说，你不允许说话，停下来。
We had like few minutes to explain who we are, and then we went home. And as we were turning home, we didn't know if they were following us or not, but we just walked.
我们有几分钟来告诉他们我们是谁，然后我们就回家了。当我们回家路上的时候，都不知道后面是不是他们仍然跟着我们。
They thought they can stop what the Lord is doing by doing this.
他们以为这样行能够来制止神所要做的事情。
But actually they ignited the hearts in our hearts.
实际上他们却点燃了我们的心。
They ignited our hearts with fire towards the work of the Lord and towards the girls that are really rejected and neglected.
他们点燃了我们里面的心，真的是看到神要做的，也是让我们对那些女孩们被忽略女孩们有这样的怜悯。
The next meeting, we experienced angels in the meeting. We experienced angels singing, and like double or triple the number of the girls showed up.
在接下来的一个会议当中，我们真的是经历这个天使在唱歌，然后有双倍甚至更多的女孩加入到我们当中来。
Of course, they did not stop here. They tried to kill us 2 or 3 times like than before.
当然，他们就是那些前面讲的那些男人们，并不是好像就这样就停下来，他们尝试着有2、3次都是想要来杀害我们。
I'm so sorry, I cannot really count how many times we were about to be killed.
真的是我很难想象有多少次好像感到这个生命受到威胁。
But to tell you the truth, I'm telling you now, not that I got over it and I'm fine.
我现在想跟大家分享，并不是说好像我们已经完全胜过了，我们都没有问题了。
It left a mark in my spirit, like as we read this morning, in the reading of today, that when we are facing trouble, the Lord would tell us what to say.
因为神已经好像我心里面已经留下了一个记号，就像我们今天早上经文当中所读到的，当在这些不容易困难当中，神会告诉我们怎么来回答，怎么来说。
all this filled our hearts with compassion towards these girls.
这些事情都让我们对这些女孩们满有的怜悯心。
And we wanted them to have a friend that is closer than a brother.
我希望他们真的是有一个朋友比他们自己的好像兄弟姐妹还要更亲。
Because in the garbage collectors area, you get up in the morning, you find a brother that killed his sister, or a brother that killed his mother or father.
因为在那个垃圾站，在那个区域，你早晨起来的时候，你可能会发现有一个兄弟杀了他的姐妹，或者一个孩子杀了他的母亲等等这些事情。
And it's always an argument over nothing. It's like something very silly.
都是为一些好像很小很愚蠢的事情彼此的来争执。
When we found out that, we realized that the Lord really rescued us that day.
当我们发现这些事情的时候，真的是意识到神那一天是拯救了我们。
We knew that they were violent, but we didn't know how violent they were.
我们知道他们都是很有暴力的，但是我们真的不知道他们有多么的暴力。
So we knew that those girls are totally alone. They have nobody.
所以我们知道那些女孩们都是完全的非常孤单，没有人帮助她们。
They are born just to serve their brothers and fathers and just work in the garbage like for 17 or 18 hours non-stop.
那些女孩子好像在家里面需要来服侍他们的兄弟啊，他们的父亲啊，然后需要在垃圾站那里来做17、18个小时连续的，就这样的辛苦。
So we introduced the God who's a friend.
所以我们把神作为朋友向他们来介绍。
We use the term that we have something called fellowship prayer.
我们团契祷告，我们使用这样一个词。
And the girls fell in love with that friend.
那些女孩们真的是爱上了这一个朋友。
And we introduced like the book of Daniel is amazing. The book of Daniel tell us a lot of things.
我们也把这个但以理书介绍给他们，真的是非常棒，因为但以理真的是这卷书告诉了我们很多东西。
We've been sharing about spending time with the Lord, like Pastor Alex has shared last week.
就像Alex 牧师上周所分享，我们也和那些女孩们也分享了怎样花时间跟神在一起。
And Pastor Caleb is taking us into a journey that we don't look, we see, we don't hear, we listen.
所以Pastor Caleb 也是告诉了我们，不只是好像表面的看，是要去用眼睛去看观察，不只是好像这个听声音来，而是你要很主动的要去听。
So it's obvious in the book of Daniel how spending time with the Lord, it cost them.
就像但以理书所讲的，真的是要花时间跟神在一起。
Even Daniel to be thrown in the den of lions.
即
In
使
the lion's den.
即使但以理被抛到狮子坑当中的时候，
So like in Jeremiah too, like Jeremiah, the Lord promised Jeremiah that he will be his spokesman.
在耶利米书也讲到，神也是使用耶利米来作为他出口，作为神的一个出口。
In Jeremiah 15:19, and the Lord kept his promise.
在耶利米书15章19节，神也是神的应许是不会落空的。
It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful when you read Jeremiah, you see like you cannot differentiate between what the Lord is saying and what Jeremiah is saying. You cannot tell who's speaking. In some passages, you're confused.
就像耶利米书里面所讲的，真的是这是好像很美的一个见证。你不知道到底是神在说话，还是耶利米在说话。有的地方好像你会感到很觉得很模糊，都不知道到底是谁在讲。
I don't want you to bring it up now, but like in Jeremiah 9, read Jeremiah 9 and see who is talking.
你可以看一下耶利米书第9章，看一下到底谁是在讲话。
In Exodus 33:11, it says that God was speaking with Moses like a friend.
在出埃及记33章11节也是讲到神对摩西说话就像朋友一样。
And it seems that we want to be God's friends, like Abraham.
就像亚伯拉罕一样，我们希望是成为神的朋友。
But actually, he wants to be our friend more than we want to be his friend.
但实际上，神更愿意他愿意成为我们的朋友，可能胜过我们要成为他的朋友。
He is the one who wants to reveal his heart.
他是那一位希望能够把他的心向我们彰显的那一位主。
He is the one who wants to speak and share his heart.
他是那一位对我们说话，能够来分享他的心的。
We taught the girls to speak to him as a friend, so she would tell him everything that's in her heart.
我们也是教导女孩们，就是跟神说话，就像朋友一样。他们就可以和神来分享他们心中所有的一切。
With no fear that he will get a bad impression about her or harm her or hurt her.
不用惧怕，好像神会对他们印象不好啊，神会来伤害到他们。
And it was like a therapy for them. Like when they shared their hearts with the Lord with no limits, they start to see themselves.
这就好像就是一个医治一样，当他们和神这样可以很自由的来分享的时候，他们也是看到他们自己是谁。
Like when she just speaks to a friend, she would feel, oh, this is why I reacted that way.
就像他对一个朋友说话一样，他们可能意识到，我因为这个原因，我可能会有这样的反应。
So it was amazing to see how the girls are maturing in spirit and in their souls as well.
所以真的是看到那些女孩们这样的成长，在灵里面，在魂里面成长，真的是一个很美好的事情。
Many of them were able to stand firm in front of troubles.
很多人他们真的是在困难之前能够站立得稳。
I would like to read Exodus 33 verse 11, please. Sorry, 1 Corinthians 2 from 9 to 10.
我想读一下格林多前书
Corinthians, 1 Corinthians
yeah
2
chapter 2
verse 9 and 10.
第2章格林多前书2章第9、第10节。
It is such a beautiful verse. It says, however, as it is written, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him.
真是非常美的一段经文。如经上所记，神为爱他的人所预备的是眼睛未曾看见，耳朵未曾听见，人心也未曾想到的。
Very often I heard preachers preaching this about heaven.
很多时候听到这些就是牧师来分享这一段经文是关于天堂。
But look at verse 10.
然后看一下第10节，
It is not heaven at all.
这不是只是关于天堂的，
But God has revealed it to us by his Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God.
就是神是借着灵向我们来显明，因为圣灵参透万事，就是神深奥的事也参透了。
This is what the Lord wants to reveal to our hearts as friends.
这就是神作为朋友希望向我们的心所显明的。
He wants to reveal what no eye has seen, no ears have heard.
他想要向我们所显明的是，我们是没有眼睛看到过，是没有耳朵听见过的。
We're not gonna wait until we go to heaven and see things that we've never seen.
不是说我们要等到上天堂的时候才能够看到我们没有看到过的。
And hear things that we've never heard.
好像那个时候才能听到事情，没有听到过的事情。
But it's right here when we are friends with the Almighty God.
而是就在这个地方，当我们是这个全能的主，成为他朋友的时候，就能
When we listen to what He wants to tell us.
让我们来听他要对我们说的话。
I could be in my room as I shared on Tuesday.
就像我在周2所分享，我可以在我的房间里，
I could be worshiping the Lord and like giving him thanks and just praising him.
我可以在房间里来敬拜，来给他称谢感恩，
in my own room.
就在我自己的房间里。
And there is an impact happening around me in the building where I live, in the house, in the neighborhood, in the area where I live, in the province where I live.
What happened? Sorry, I didn't get.
Like the impact of me
Okay,
spending
yeah.
time with the Lord.
OK，当我这样做的时候，可以在我的房间，在我所在的地方，甚至在我所在的省更大的范围里面，真的是你可以看到是有一个影响力在当中。
I feel that the Lord is shifting our hearts these days to know that when we spend time with the Lord, it's not for us.
所以我们神就是要让我们意识到明白，我们花时间在神身上，并不是为了我们自己。
Meaning, help me, sanctify me. I want this, I want that, I want this anointing, I want whatever.
不是说好像来接近我啊，我要这一个啊，我要那一个啊，来帮助我这一个，帮助我这一个，来改变我这一个那一个等等。
It's not about us anymore. It's about him and what he's about to do.
不是关于我们，而是关于他，关于神要做什么。
So the shift the Lord is trying to take us to is that when we spend time with the Lord, there is an impact happening around me.
所以神要改变我们的是，当我们更花时间在神身上的时候，真的是在我们的周围是会产生一个影响。
The Lord is working whether I want it or not.
神在做事，不管我想要还是不想要，
Whether I prayed for it specifically or not.
不管我是特地为这个祷告还是没有为这个祷告。
So spending time with the Lord is not an option anymore.
所以花时间和神在一起，并不是一个好像你可以选择的，
It's our means to have a heart full of compassion.
这是我们的一个办法，是当我们需要真的是蛮有怜悯的这样一个心的时候，
It's our means to help those around us.
这是我们所需要的。当我们需要来帮助别人的时候，
As we shared on Tuesday, and I wish that nobody would miss Tuesday, because Tuesday and Sundays are like chains together.
就像星期二我们所分享的，我希望没有人能来错过星期二的祷告会，因为星期二和星期天就像这个链条彼此是连在一块的。
So when we pray, we have an impact.
所以当我们祷告的时候，就会有一个影响力。
And when we pray, we know that the Lord is working.
当我们祷告的时候，我们知道神在做工。
And because of what is happening around us these days and the lot of questions that are raised, and nobody knows the answer.
因为现在所发生，我们周围所发生的一切，可能有人有很多的疑问，而我们也不知道这个问题的答案是什么。
We cannot make it through the coming days without the Lord equipping our hearts.
如果神没有来装备我们的心，真的是我们很难来度过所要来到的。
Equipping our hearts and teaching us how to stand firm.
神来教导我们，来装备我们，让我们知道怎样能够来站得稳。
And spending time with the Lord is not like sitting down and just praying and worshiping and that's it.
花时间在神身上，并不只是说坐下来，好像祷告啊、敬拜啊。
But I have to listen to what the Lord is saying because He is clearing my soul.
而是要听神说话，对我们说什么，因为神是在来洁净我们的魂。
He's aligning our minds with heaven.
他是把我们的思维和天堂能够对齐，
That we will not be shaken
这样我们就不会摇动。
when we face tribulation
当我们来经历这些震动的时候，
or when we face persecution.
当我们经历逼迫的时候，
We cannot face tribulation or persecution with revelation.
如果没有神的启示，我们很难来经历这些灾难、这些逼迫。
But we face them with our strong relationship with the Lord.
是因为我们跟神有很深的关系，我们才能够来面对这一切。
We face them when we hear what no ears has ever heard, and when we see what no eyes has ever seen.
只有当我们来看到我们眼所未见，来听到耳朵所未听到的，我们才能够来站稳，来面对所有这一切。
I think I'll stop here and I bless you all, but I'm gonna give a chance for Medhat to share his heart too.
我就讲到这里，也祝福每一位。我下面会给Medhat 有时间来分享他的心。
What a joy to be together again, share with this precious family.
跟家人们在一起真的是非常的喜乐。
Before I start, I have a confession.
在我开始前，我要承认一件事。
And that was long time ago, not now. Okay?
那是很久以前的事情。
When Pastor Alex shared about how important to spend time with the Lord.
当 Alex 牧师分享和神花时间在身上是如此的重要。
I was reminded of something happened to me before we went to Egypt, like back to 21 years or so.
所以让我想到了在我们实际上去埃及之前，可能21年前的事情。
That time I was so busy playing soccer.
那个时候我非常的忙，是踢足球。
I played like 3-4 times a week, and the rest of my time maybe I will watch games and overwhelmed with soccer.
我一周要踢3到4次，其余的时间我要看比赛，所以我好像不愿意浪费好像不浪费任何时间，就是在足球上。
One day it was a friendly game actually. I was playing with some teams in Syria.
有一次我就是和朋友在一起踢足球。
And this guy came just facing me with the full power with his head. He hit me in my face.
有一个人朝我过来，他用力的冲着我的脸打过来。
And I fall down full unconscious, and my face and shirt, everything was just bleeding from everywhere.
我就是被打，我就倒在地上，好像都不省人事了。然后我这个脸上什么全是血。
In my team that time was Monis and Ashraf.
我的团队的 Monis 和 Ashraf， 他们是跟我在一个团队的。
And they were scared to death more than me.
他比我可能还要害怕。
So Monis ran me to the hospital, and he didn't want to phone Huda, tell her what happened. He was scared to phone her.
Monis 把我送到医院，但他不敢打电话给 Huda 告诉他发生了什么。
So he phoned Papa Gideon.
所以他打电话给 Papa Gideon.
Told him what happened.
告诉 Papa Gideon 发生了什么事。
That was on the way to the hospital while he's driving me to the hospital. And when I arrived at the hospital, just a couple of minutes, I saw Papa Gideon come. I hardly opened my eyes and saw him coming towards me, Papa Gideon.
过几分钟，我看到 Papa Gideon 过来了，我试着用力睁开我的眼睛，看到 Papa Gideon 过来。
And he started to just comfort me and praying with me. And he phoned Hoda and told her it's easy, nothing. And anyway, to make the story short, I was told by the doctor that it's a serious concussion and you have to be at home for 1 month, lying on bed, not to move much.
Papa Gideon 是过来安慰我，为我祷告，然后他打电话给 Hoda。 所以长话短说，就是后来医生告诉我，我是有很严重的那个脑震荡，所以我需要1个月在家里，可能在床上。
During that time, the Lord started to speak to me.
那段时间，神开始对我说话。
And I learned the hard way that it's really dangerous not to spend time with the Lord.
所以这是对我是个教训，就是如果不花时间在神身上的话，对我来说是蛮危险的一件事情。
He started to speak to me about your time has to come to an end here in Canada, and it's about time to go back to Egypt.
神也告诉我，你在加拿大这里的时间要结束了，你要准备回埃及去。
So the point I was referring to when I mentioned this story that obedience first leads to compassion.
所以我想分享这故事，想要说的是，你首先需要是来顺服，因为顺服可以带来怜悯的心。
I checked when I heard that with the fathers and the pastoral team and with our dear prophet, Papa Emil. And he said, everybody said, we bless you, we agree for you in order to go. And Papa Emil said, if you delay, you will lose heart.
我当时也是和牧师团队，也和Papa Emil来分享过，其他人别的人都是鼓励我，就是来祝福我们。但是Papa Emil说，如果你耽搁的话，你就会失去信心。
Also, there is a part I would just want to explain what happened when we first arrived to Egypt.
我想和大家分享，就是我们刚刚到达埃及的时候是发生什么事情。
When we went to the area and we knew it was confirmed that this is where the Lord wants us to serve here in that location.
但我们到了那个地方，就是确定这是神让我们要在那个地方服侍的。
I saw the broken and the crushed girls, and I saw the atmosphere of that area, how the fanatic is taking over, how is crimes everywhere, garbage everywhere.
真的是看到那些女孩们受到各种的逼迫啊，看到这个环境是如此的糟糕，不只是垃圾，还有这个这个犯罪率非常的高，好像还有一些极端分子等等各样的情况。
One of the songs that it was in my heart day and night, because I used to hear it very much from our dear worshiper leader and Pastor Caleb, the song Resting Place. You know, we all know it.
有一首歌一直在我里面，因为常常是听到那个 Caleb 他的敬拜，就是 resting place 安息之所。
He's the best one who sings this song, so ask him to sing it for you. And I remember seeing all this happening. So I was asking the Lord, I want to have a place for you to dwell in that area.
当我看到所有这一切的时候，我就心里面对神说，就是我希望在这一个地方来为你预备一个安息之所。
I was reading day and night from 2 Samuel 7 when King David he brought the Ark of the Covenant, and for the first time he just placed it on the tent next to his home.
就是看到那个撒母耳记下里面所讲到，当大卫王第一次把约柜带出来的时候，他就放在就家旁边的一个帐篷里面。
He wanted to be surrounded with the presence day and night. As soon as he opened his home, there is the presence of the Lord just next to him.
因为他希望一直是有神的同在来包围着他们，当他打开家门的时候，就能够感受到这个神的同在就在旁边。
But also he said one night, how could I live in a cedar home and the Ark of the Covenant live in a curtains in a tent.
但是大卫王也是说，好，怎样我好像是自己住在一个宫殿里面，但是你的约柜怎么只能在一个帐篷里面呢？
And he cried out, I want to build a home for the Lord here.
所以他也是向神来呼求，愿意为神来造一个居所。
I believe that night it changed the history.
所以我相信那个晚上改变了历史。
I believe the heaven responded in a way like never before. The Lord himself said, nobody asked me this question before. Nobody asked me that he wanted to build a house for me.
因为真的是神也是，那一天好像就是以前从来没有人问过这样一个问题，好像以前也从来没有人说他愿意为我来建造一个殿。
And I heard the Lord very clearly. He said, I will build the house for the king's daughters in this garbage area.
所以我很清楚的听到神对我说，我就在这个垃圾山这个地方，我要为King's Daughters 就是这个事工来建一个殿在这个地方。
And this house comes with all the blessings, all the protections, all the promises.
所以神也是带来所有的保护，所有他的应许，他的祝福在我们当中。
In 2 Samuel 7 also, verse 10 and 11, he said, like, I will do that, what you asked me for. And also, I will give you a rest from your enemies.
所以在撒母耳记下这个7章10到10节里面也是讲到，为你来建一个殿，然后是必使你安静，不被一切仇敌搅扰。
And you will see no longer stress from the enemy that used to attack you before.
所以就不像以前仇敌一直来攻击他们。
So literally that happened in our midst. We started worship. We started to teach the girls how to worship. We started them, even if you don't know how to read the song, just open your mouth, have your own melody.
所以我们也是这样，这些事情就确实在我们当中发生。我们也是教导我们的女孩们怎样来敬拜，怎样即使有的时候不知道怎么样来唱这个歌，但是你只需要来张开你的口就行。
And the praise and worship out of their mouths broke down all over that area. It was heard from above, from afar.
所以他们的这个敬拜声音就是传到了这个更远的地方。
And what a blessing really to for how humble we are to see the Lord answering this prayer, that he chose that area to come and dwell in that area and to establish a place for the king's daughter in this garbage area.
真的是我们非常谦卑的看到神就是选择这一个地方，真的是来建立好像他的一个殿，就是在和我们这个 King's Daughter 这个王的女儿就在我们当中。
And step by step, everything was changed. Those girls started to go back to school. They started to graduate from the highest colleges and in Egypt. Also, they started to have a self-confidence, started to experience inner healing from above, not from us, from above, really.
所以一点一点，那些女孩们就开始改变，她们开始去学校读书，她们也是从学校甚至从大学能够毕业，然后她们也经历了很多内在的医治。 这些都是来自于神，而不是来自于我们。
And
有更大的自信，他们也有。
And I will maybe we will be open for questions in a couple of minutes or so. But also, I remember one word I received from Papa Emil. That was a long time ago. First, when went to Egypt.
这是我们我还记得当我们第一次去埃及的时候，我们领受了一句话是 Papa Email 给我们的。
He said, they will come after you, but they will not find you.
他说他们会来，追你来找你，但是他们没有办法找到你。
I mean those who persecute, those who wanted to kill us.
我指的是那些想要来杀害我们的。
And I remember 2 times at least.
我记得至少有2次。
I saw them coming to me, but they didn't see me.
我记得他们好像朝我的方向走过来，但是好像他们没有看到我。
Literally, that happened with very short distance. They didn't see me.
真的，那个事情就发生了，非常近，但是他们却没有看到我。
To him, all the glory.
真的是向神献上所有的感恩和
When
荣
we
耀。
mention his name, mountains will bow down, seas will roar. When we mention his name.
当我们提到神的名的时候，山都要来跪拜。
We wanted to have the girls today as well, but we have one of the girls, her wedding exactly at the same time now. Now it's like 8:00 p.m. in Cairo.
现在在开罗是晚上8点的时间。
So all of them, they are attending the wedding. All the girls, all the king's daughters, they want to attend the wedding.
所以现在正好是其中我们一个女孩这个婚礼的时间，所以他们都去参加婚礼了。
The girl, the bride and the groom, they send us the photo before the wedding. I want to show. Yeah, she just sent it a few minutes before the meeting.
他们几分钟前给我们发过来一张他们的婚礼照片。
And this is from the 3rd generation.
这已经是第3代了。
Okay, maybe Huda, do you wanna come?
So we're open to any questions, Pastor Caleb, if you have any.
所以我下面就是给大家可以有一些提问的时间。
Hoda, the girl's so beautiful. She just looks just like you.
那个女孩非常的美丽，看上去像你。
Oops. Sorry.
I'm still taking, some of these nuggets that you have shared. I didn't want to move so quickly into something else right away.
我仍然是在来接受、来消化你刚才所分享一切，好像不想这么快就转到别的地方去。
But along the same lines, how did you, you mentioned obedience and you mentioned the Lord speaking to you. But how?
Sorry, go ahead.
How did you cultivate this, this heart to live beyond yourself?
你提到了顺服，你也提到神对你说话，你是怎么样好像来培养这样一颗心，是生活在这样一个境况当中，好像是不是你所想象的那种。
I believe we were driven by God totally. Like there was nothing. This is not my personality, and it's not Medad's personality. It's God who really kept us going. Because, like before, sorry, go ahead, Steve. I'm so sorry.
这不是我的好像个性，这也不是马哈的个性。我相信这完全是神所做的，是他一直推着我们在往这个方向在走。
We have done this in so many areas, as you know. But one of the areas, they persecuted like many people before we went there.
我们实际上是在类似的地方服务过蛮多次。有一个地方就是在我们去之前，他们实际上是逼迫了很多人的。
We met one of them who told us, "Are you crazy? You have to run out of this place. You cannot handle it."
有一个人告诉我们，你们是疯了吗？你们要快点离开这个地方，因为你们没法在那个地方能够来容忍的。
And we had people coming to our home to warn us not to be there.
我们甚至有人来到我们的家中来就是警示我们不要在那儿。
But we check in our heart and we see it's as if the Lord blinded us on how dangerous it is.
但是当我们在回想的时候，好像神让我们的里面就是一下子被隐藏，以至于我们不知道好像这个事情会发生一样。
To the extent that a few times we asked the Lord, why are we staying? Are we staying because of the stories of the girls, or what are we staying because?
有很多次我们问神，为什么我们要在这个地方呢？是因为那些女孩的故事吗？
But we felt we are staying because we are walking in obedience before you. If you tell us to go, we'll go, but we will not go unless you tell us so.
我们意识到我们去那个地方，待在那个地方，是因为我们顺服，因为你告诉我们去，我们就去。如果你不告诉我们，我们就不会去。
That's my answer, and I don't know if Medhat has anything.
这是我的回答，不知道Mahat有他的那一部分。
I think also, Pastor Caleb, the Lord will not reveal everything at once. So the first thing we hear, go, we obeyed, we went, not knowing what will happen there. But step by step, the Lord will take every one of us to the place where He wants to serve Him and start to lead step by step.
我想神也是不是一下子好像要把所有的东西都显明给我们，所以神也是一步步，他告诉我们去，我们就去。虽然我们不知道前面会发生什么事情，但是一点一点的神把我们带领到他要让我们在那个地方服侍的，就是那个服侍的地方。
But obedience is very important.
但是顺服是非常重要的。I don't know if Medhat wants to share the story of the guy that came to the office. Can I ask him this question?
我能否问他一个问题，就是来分享一个故事，就是有一个男的来到我们的办公室。
This is one of the most fanatic influential guy in Egypt. He came to know the Lord.
He came to. I didn't get the last sentence.
He came to know the Lord.
Yeah.
OK. 这是在埃及好像似乎最疯狂的，也是一个非常有影响力的一个人。他最后是认识神了。
Because of that, he was fired from his job. He was jailed in a prison for a long time.
因为那个原因，他被解雇了。从他过程当中，他在监狱里面也待了蛮长时间。
When he came out, nobody wants to help him. Everybody was scared to come close to him.
他从监狱出来以后，没有人要帮助他，因为每个人都怕他，甚至不想和他接近。
The Christian was really scared because it's dangerous, especially to be in touch with that man.
即使基督徒也很害怕，因为如果要帮助他的话，确实是一件很危险的事情。
But we felt we really had a compassion for this man.
Yes.
但是我们真的是对他有一个怜悯的心。
We need to provide for him and his family.
我们需要为他和他的家来好像供应。
We had the privilege to mentor him.
我们也有这个荣幸能够来辅导他。
can I interrupt for a second? He went to jail
他去了监狱，
before he even had a Bible or read the Bible.
Yeah.
甚至他都没有读过。
Like he was
圣经。
given a little piece of paper with the verse on it in jail, and he was like tortured because they found this verse with him.
Mhm.
他实际上监狱里面就是有人给了他一张小纸条，上面有一段经文。他也就是因为拥有了这一张小纸条，在监狱里面他受到了非常多的折磨。
He was so hungry for the Lord.
他是非常的渴慕神。
I will never forget that. I still see this picture in front of me every now and then. That he's before I start to share with him, before I open my mouth, he's in tears, crying, hungry for the presence.
我仍然在眼前有这样一个景象，当他即使在他开口之前，在分享之前，他非常的渴慕，非常的渴慕神。
And if I tell you just a little bit of the history of that man, you're not going to believe that. How we've done it, Lord? How we've changed the hearts this way?
如果你知道他的背景、他的历史的话，你很难想象神是怎么做的，能够来改变一个人。
He's very well known in Egypt.
他在埃及是非常有名的。
So for him to come to know the Lord, it's a miracle.
所以要他这样的人来认识主，真的是一个神迹。
Not only this man, but because our ministry was the girls, so the same thing, either women or young women will come to know the Lord, will be the first ones to
be hungry for the Lord,
to move towards them as well, and, because nobody, it's really dangerous, especially those who receive Christ from different backgrounds.
所以也不只是他这一个人，还有别的女孩们啊，就是年轻，他们也是可能是家中第一个来认识主的。对他们来说，实际上在埃及要成为一个基督徒，真的是蛮危险的一件事情。
Honestly, looking back, that was not very long time ago either. But looking back, I wonder, like, how did we do that?
虽然这时间也不是很长之前的事情，当我们往回看的时候，我们在想我们是怎样做到这一些的。
But compassion is the road for risky stuff, and like it will not. Compassion is not a feeling. It's obedience, and it's very risky.
这个怜悯不只是一种情感，怜悯实际上是顺服的结果，而且它常常是蛮危险的。
Because our compassion, why it's risky? Because we're touching the area of the dark kingdom.
为什么这个怜悯是危险要付代价？是因为它触摸到这个黑暗的这个国度。
Even if we just gonna handle food, it's dangerous because we're touching the area of, especially for us, like maybe the United Nations, when they do that, it's safe, it's nothing. But for us, when we do any act of compassion, it is dangerous.
可能比如说联合国做这些事情可能是正常的，好像不危险，但是从我个人经历，真的是当我们有这样怜悯的去做任何充满怜悯的事的时候，真的是一件要付代价的事情。
We don't want to take much time because I'm sure other people would like to say something.
是不是别的人也有一些要分享？
I have a few burning questions that are burning a hole in my pocket from different people.
我从不同的人给我一些问题，好像在我的口袋里要烧穿了一个洞。
One is looking for an update from one of the girls you told a testimony about.
就是其中一个问题就是，因为你提到其中有一个女孩，是不是有一些最近的一些进展？
I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I think there was a cross that needed to be repaired. But it's a big one that had to be walked, carried on the public street, back and forth. And this girl was being spit at, and rocks were thrown at her.
其中我不知道具体的细节，但是其中就是有一个十字架需要被修理，然后呢是需要在街道上带着走来走去，其中有一个女孩就是他们吐唾沫啊，扔石头在她身上。
So speaking of dangerous and carrying your cross, is there a little update on this girl?
就是关于这个女孩的事情，是不是有一些最新的一些进展可以跟我们分享？
Let me give you a background of this girl first. Like this girl, we met the first week we went to Egypt.
我先给一些背景。这个女孩是我们去埃及第一周我们遇见她的。
She was 14 years old, and we said hi to each other and left.
她当时14岁，我们只是打了招呼就离开了。
Medhat and I went home, and as we were going to bed, I just had this burning in my heart that I cannot go to bed. I have to go and see this girl again.
我们当时就回家了，但是我却好像心里面在上床，好像我确实心里面有一个很强的感动，就是我一直不能忘记她，我觉得我也需要去找她。
It's about an hour and a half drive from where we live.
这实际上离我们住的地方当时要有一个半小时的车程。
Medhat usually goes to bed like if he puts his head on the pillow, he starts snoring right away.
他只要他头在枕头上，他就开始打呼了。
So I told Medhat, "Oh, don't sleep, Medhat. Can you take me back to this area again, please?"
我跟他说不要睡觉，不要睡觉，然后把我再带回去到那个地方。
It was around 10 at night.
所以是晚上10点。
And when I went there, I didn't know why I'm going there, but I went and I called this girl out from her home.
我当时就是我也不知道什么原因，我去了那个地方，我到了那个地方，把她从家里面叫出来。
And all what I've done that I hugged her.
我所做的就是拥抱她。
I was crying out loud, and she was crying out loud.
然后就是很大声的在哭，我在哭，她也在哭。
So, and then I went to the car and went home.
然后我就到车上就回去了。
A few months after, she opened up her heart to me, and she said, "That day I was running away from home."
然后几个月以后，她告诉我，实际上那一天她是要逃离家。
That was the first girl that the Lord really transformed.
这实际上是神做的改变的第一个女孩。
And she would bring, like every time she would come to the meetings, she would bring 15 girls with her and whisper in my ears and say, "These are like me, so be careful."
所以每一次她到我们参加我们的会，她都会带很多，比如说15个女孩带到我们当中，然后她会在我耳边轻轻的说，这些女孩就是跟我是一样的，所以你们要注意一点。
She's married now with kids, and she has a business and everything.
她现在已经结婚了，她有自己的生意，也有孩子。
And the area of worship, like you said, Pastor Caleb, they would go on the street, they learned how to worship. So they initiated this actually. We want to go in the area, carrying a cross and sing in the street.
他们当初实际上是想带着十字架到街上，到那个地方去，想在那里来敬拜。
Because of that act, the atmosphere of the area was changed dramatically.
Yeah.
也因为他这样做的，实际上他改变了那个地方的环境气氛。
Even we taught them how to bring the worship to your home, how to spend time with the Lord at your home. Though you don't have room to be alone, but we taught her you can put a towel on your or scarf or your face in the midst of addiction around you. Maybe they watching whatever pornography or something, or but the worship it has to overcome this atmosphere.
所以我们也教导他们怎样把敬拜啊，就是和神的时间，就是怎样带到家中去做，就算你自己没有一个好像单独的房间可以这样来安静啊，但是你是可以来克服，可能比如说盖一个东西，好像如果我
And
没
that was the first
来克服
commission.
所有这些不容易。
Was the first commission to give to the girls that you have to change the atmosphere in your home, no matter what it is.
所以我们也是教导那些女孩，就是你必须要改变你家中的环境，不管发生什么事情。
You have to honor your parents. You have to forgive those who abused you.
你要尊荣你的父母，要来饶恕那些虐待你们的。
And you've seen hundreds of results that their home, even the family, they came to know the Lord because they've seen the change in their lives.
真的是看到有很多这样的家庭来后面认识神了，就是因为他们看到了在女孩身上的改变。
Back to you, Pastor Caleb.
I know you are very, very conservatively saying hundreds have changed, but could you give us an estimate of how many lives have been rescued or touched? And then what is happening with the scope of King's daughters right now?
你们非常的谦卑说好像几百个，实际上可能有更多。你们能否就是给我们告诉大概有多少的人是被你们所影响，生命得到改变？然后最新的关于这个王的女儿这个事工可能有些什么进展
？We had a girl that was taking the names and the addresses from every single girl that came to the meeting. And until 2011, we had 10,000 girls.
10,000. Okay, 2011. Okay. 我们就是每个来参加我们聚会的，我们都会让他们把名字、地址写下来。所以到2011年为止，一共有1万个就是这样的孩子，就是是被改变的。
After that, we went to Upper Egypt, and we went to another 3 areas in Cairo.
那个以后我们就去到埃及的可能上面那一部分，以及开罗的其他的地区。
And we started the same ministry, but we never counted how many did we have.
我们也有建立了同样的事工，但是那个以后我们就没有计算人数。
And these meetings are still going on. Like the one in Upper Egypt is growing like crazy, and now it's like 3 meetings.
这样的会在各个地方仍然在继续。有的地方真的是非常多的人。
Sorry, go ahead.
Also, we received the invitation, or we had we wanted to extend that ministry, the same work in the Middle East. So we had the privilege to go to Jordan and have the same ministry
in Lebanon,
Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan. We gathered many girls from these nations to Jordan. For 2 years, we have done that. And also we had some of the girls from Egypt, about 15 girls. They went on a plane and traveled to Jordan, and they were ministering to the same girls.
这些女孩以后都是很多家庭的妈妈，在一个世代。
Is somebody translating for me?
1万个女孩就是1万个家庭，1万个女性，以后都是。
他们实际上，他们想把这个事工扩展到中东的其他的国家，所以他们特别的提到约旦，他们在约旦服侍也有2年的时间，所以甚至他们有15个女孩，他们当中女孩也到约旦去，在那个地方也去来服侍跟他们一样的这样的女孩子们， 实际上他们也有在别的不同的地方也是像在那个除了约旦以外，他还提到了黎巴嫩啊、叙利亚等这些地方，他们实际上有这样的事工在那些地方。
Also, we have so many that got married and moved to another city, and they have like the same ministry. And some of them, they have like meetings, not only for girls, but girls and guys. So things are like, you call it rebel effect or something, I don't know.
我们当中也有不少女孩结婚以后，她们可能搬到了别的地方，其他的城市，所以她们在那些城市也会有建立这样的一些事工啊，包括有这样的一些聚会啊，就是有一个好像一个什么效应啊，一个水波效应。
So what is happening right now is like the first generation and the second generation plus few of the third generation are taking care of the ministry while we're here, but we're on Zoom continuously with them like every day. And like as for Mehat and myself, we're leading a group, and you've seen some of them on Tuesday. This group is like of 25 or 30, something like that.
所以实际上目前在埃及，就是我们这个一些女孩中的，就是第一代、第二代，包括有部分第三代，实际上他们基本上是在管理是在带领这些所有的事工啊、聚会等等。那我们在这里跟他们是通过 Zoom，可能每天会有这个沟通的时间。那我这里主要现在也是带领是一群是大概25到30个女孩子，这是我主要是在辅导，可能在带领这样一群女孩子。
We don't know what will happen next, but we trust the Lord that who told us that we haven't done anything yet.
Yes.
我们现在虽然也不知道前面是计划是怎么样，但是我们相信神，因为是他来告诉我们所有这一切。
2 years ago, the Lord spoke to us very clearly, Medhat and myself, and He said to us, "You haven't yet started what should be started."
You haven't yet started what you
Yes.
should start, right? OK， 2年前神很清楚的对我和买哈说，你们还没有开始，我要让你们开始的。
Also, in the same time, we're so grateful to the Lord that He's allowing us to be with the family at this time here in Zion. Like for 21 years, we've never spent that much time here and enjoying the warmth, enjoying the relationship and the depths of this family. I believe with all my heart that this time is very crucial that for us to be here with the family as well.
我也很感恩，就是神给我们这样的机会，能够在这段时间能够和我们西安的家人能够在一起。因为在我们这个21年这样服侍这个当中，我们还从来没有这么长的时间能够跟西安的家人能够一直在一起，所以这也是我们所需要的，也是非常感谢大家这个家给我们带来的温暖。
We believe that there is a calling for the family here, and the Lord preparing all of us in a unique way, getting ready for what about to happen.
所以神也是在预备我们每一个人以他的独特的方式来为着将来要发生的来做准备。
So we don't want to miss that.
所以我们也不想要错过这个在这里所发生的。
Wow, a few more things before we let you go.
还有一些东西。
I think some, even in this season, may be feeling really stretched, maybe even disappointed and wanting to give up at times.
就是在这个季节，好像我们感觉到有一些人好像 觉得好像一直在被扩展，好像有的时候会有很失望的感觉，甚至想要放弃。
Like clearly, this ministry is beyond whether it's sustaining it or running it from afar. There's so much difficulty having your life at stake, so much difficulty.
就是你们这个施工真的是有非常非常不容易的地方，甚至你们的生命都是受到威胁。
What did you do in those times to not give up?
就是你们怎么样在那些时候，这些艰难的时候不放弃的呢？
I remember that when we first started, I was like bombarded with everything that is happening and I couldn't handle it.
我记得当刚开始的时候，好像有太多的事情发生在我们的身上，我基本上我们没法好像再继续下去再处理。
So I literally knelt in my room for 3 days.
我就在我的房间里跪下来3天。
And I was weeping before the Lord and say, okay, I cannot handle it. Why are they doing this? I'm trying to help and they are doing that.
我就问神，为什么这些事情，我是想在帮助他们，但是为什么这些事情发生了，这样的事情发生，我没法再继续了。
It's the words that was really getting to me because even in Jeremiah, they say, let's kill him with our words.
因为他们所说的话真的是影响到我，就像耶利米书所讲的，他们这些话会让人害怕。
And as I was like fasting and kneeling before the Lord, I heard very clearly the verse that says, those who ever want to fear the Lord will always be persecuted.
当我在神的面前进食啊，跪下来祷告，我就很清楚听到神对我说，敬畏神的会被逼迫。
And it has the same, it doesn't have the same effect. It has more powerful effect on me, that word, than the negative words that I've always heard.
所以神的这样一个话在我里面真的是胜过那些别人所说的所有那些负面的话。
The word of the Lord came to me with power that really gave me energy to go on.
所以神的话带着这样的能力，能够让我有力量，能够继续下去。
So whenever I feel like giving up, I tell myself I'm hungry for more.
所以我们从来后来就没有说要放弃，我就告诉神，我更渴慕，更渴慕。
This feeling of giving up is like hungry for more. So I will pour it on you, Lord.
所以这样好像要放弃的感觉，实际上就是你渴慕要更多，要更多。
We were told,
No, go ahead.
we were told at the beginning when we went there, that was from leaders we trust in Egypt and pastors we trust. They said, we'll give you 2 years maximum to do this type of ministry, and don't be disappointed that when it's over.
Yeah.
我们刚到埃及的时候，有一些牧师啊，他们朋友对我们说，我们给你们2年的时间来做这样一个施工，如果2年以后结束了，你们不要感到失望。
What I want to say, Pastor Caleb, that having this family praying for us day and night, different people with all their hearts, it's one of the main reasons that this ministry is still going.
我想其中一个很主要的原因就是这个事工没有放弃，一直到现在，就是我们这个家里面有人真的是这个家为我们日日夜夜的，真的是全心的在祷告。
Every single prayer it has an effect on the far away in Egypt. It has even the song I told you, Pastor Kara, when we sing the worship here, like the song, the resting place, maybe you were singing just on Sundays or so, but the passion you have when you sing it, something was rooted in me that when I went there, I remember it right away. And here, Lord, I want to have a place for you to dwell. So every single prayer from this precious family counts.
所以在这个家里的每一个祷告都是很有影响的，即使在远方的埃及，包括我们的在这里的敬拜，就像刚才所提到那首歌《神的安息之所》，好像就在我里面像扎根一样，所以每一次就是想到要为神就是有个安息之所。
Wow, you are a living sacrifice.
你们真的是像一个活祭。
You've been through fire, but you don't smell like smoked meat.
你们经历了火的试炼，但是没有焦的味道。
You've been in the garbage mountains, but you don't have that stench of garbage on you.
你们虽然是在这个垃圾山上面服侍，但是好像一点都没有感到好像这个垃圾的感觉。
And the fragrance that comes from you and the generations is heaven. Oh.
你们身上所发出来的香味，真的是就像在天堂一样。
And this is the kingdom DNA we want as a family walking together.
这就是我们作为一个家同行所想要的一个国度，神的国度的一个 DNA 基因。
Even the whole time as you are testifying of God's goodness, when Hoda said, I was brought to my knees for 3 days.
其实你们在这样做见证的时候，刚才霍德所说的，好像在神面前跪下来3天。
All that you would mention is when people do that, there's no emphasis on what people have done, which would bring you to 3 days of crying out to the Lord.
好像你们不是把重点放在好像人对你做了些什么事情，使得你们要得跪下来祷告3天。
We're jealous. We want that compassion and we want that relationship with Jesus.
我们也想要像你一样，你们那样的这个怜悯的心，以及和耶稣的关系。
And I think part of a way of sharing that is finding a way to partner with you as well.
所以我们也是想要找到一个办法，能够和你们来同行。
There has to be a cost that is paid before we can have that fragrance as well.
当然，在我们要得到这个香气之前，肯定有一个代价是需要付的。
And I think even though it's so limited, but our hearts are stirred to want to be involved.
所以，即使我们做的有限，但是我们也非常愿意能够来参与其中。
And I believe even now the Lord is expanding us. We'll hear and see things of ways that we can be involved beyond even what we're hearing this morning.
所以我们也是超出我们所能够所听到，我们能够来做我们要做的。
But I think even to start, I'm going to ask Pastor Rebecca to help me a little bit here.
我想让Rebecca 牧师来帮助我。
As a pastoral team, we've been asking how can we make an impact on our neighborhood, on Zion Local and Zion Global.
所以作为一个牧师团队，我们也一直在想，我们是这个教会怎么样在当地以及在世界各地来起这个影响。
And so, Pastor Rebecca
牧师。
Thank you, Caleb.
谢
I
谢
think
Caleb。
this season, there's just the Lord is speaking to so many of us and just speaking to our hearts.
我想这个季节神对我们当中太多的人在说话。
And something that Matt had said at the beginning, that obedience leads to compassion.
就像美海尔在刚开始的时候所说的，顺服能够带来怜悯。
And it's really been beautiful to hear, even within the family of Zion, how the Lord is already speaking to young and old.
所以真的是看到神在我们这个西安教会，不管是年轻人还是年老的，都在说话。
I heard one of the kids share this morning that they want to buy a practical way to show love in action.
所以我记得听到今天早上有一个孩子在说，他们就是想要有一些实际的办法，能够来表示他们的感谢。
Is they want to buy hand warmers from Costco and keep them in their car so they can hand it out to the people that are homeless or on the streets that may be cold in this season.
所以他们想要从 Costco 买一个就是暖手的东西，能够分给街上的那些可能因为在冬天这个季节这样的人们。
There's another family who wants to give gifts and make baskets for other families instead of buying gifts for themselves for Christmas.
另外一个家庭也谈到，不是他们自己家好像要为圣诞特别准备什么，而是希望准备一些篮子能够分给别的家庭。
And I think there's probably many, many more that we haven't heard about.
可能有很多的我们听到了。
But there's so many opportunities that are like Pastor Caleb was saying, local and global, that we can help out.
对我们来说也有很多的机会，不管是在当地的还是在别的地方，是我们可以来帮助的。
Even as I'm listening to Matt Hatton-Hoda share this morning,
即使当我在听马汉或者分享的时候，
and they're probably not going to like it that I share this.
他们不一定会喜欢，但是我想要说的是，
These people are probably one of the most humble people I've ever met.
他们真的是可能我遇到的最谦卑的人。
They are full of grace.
他们满有神的恩典。
They don't, even in their deepest suffering, they speak of his goodness and in their lives.
即使是在他们最困难、最不容易的时候，他们所分享、所讲的也是神的恩典。
They count it all joy. You know, when you read that verse, this is the family that encapsulates that.
真的是他们把这个都认为是蛮有喜乐的。
And I think there are ones that would never speak if there was a need.
有些需要可能有些人可能即使有需要也不会说的。
And they give and give and give of, you know, they're not just their time and their love and their compassion and their wisdom, but of everything that they have.
他们就是一直在给啊给啊，不只是他们的时间啊、爱啊、怜悯啊，他们真的是一直全部都给出去。
And I've had the privilege to really get to know their daughters as well.
我也有机会能够真的是认识他们的女儿。
And these girls are just like their parents.
他们的女儿们真的是跟他们父母是一样的。
And they give and give. They go to school full time, they work full time to sow into this ministry.
他们真的是一直在给，他们要上学是全时间的，然后他们就一直也是全时间，好像在投入到这个事工当中。
I can truly say that this family does not keep a penny to themselves. Everything goes. You hear about the stories of the girls who have gone to university, graduated, starting businesses. This family will pay for their education.
真的是这个家就一直在给出去，好像没有任何东西要保留。刚才我们提到过，有一个就是有女孩上大学，实际上这个家就一直在支付这些女孩上大学的费用。
You know, what started with ministering to these girls who they found in the garbage dumps, the impact is exponential.
他们真的是就是开始就是来服侍这些好像在垃圾山旁边的这些女孩们，但是他们的影响力是爆炸性的。
They truly walk with these girls, train them, mentor them, and till they become mothers themselves.
他们一直和他们同行，辅导他们，直接一直到这些女孩们成为母亲。
So I feel like it's really such a privilege and an honor to have this family amongst us.
真的是非常的荣幸，能够有这样的家庭在我们中间。
And for us to just have a small part, you know, I know our family, the Fahims are near and dear to us. And for us to be just be able to sow a small seed into what the Lord is doing to them, to say, I want to be a part of this.
所以对我们来说，真的也是让我们能够种下一个种子，能够说我也在这个当中也要有份。
And I feel like this is an opportunity where we're impacting the nations, yet they're right here in our family to sow into.
所以这也对我们来说也是一个机会，能够来影响列国，同时又是在我们自己这个家中。
So if the Lord is leading you to sow into them, please, as you indicate Egypt as you give.
所以如果神有这样的感动，你可以来奉献，上面写的是为了埃及的事工。
There are also areas locally that we're connected with.
在我们当地也有一些我们连接的机构。
And as Pastor John shared on Tuesday, him and Pam, their nephew and wife were stuck in the mudslides, the rock slides.
就像星期二教牧师所提到的，Pan 的他的侄子就是因为困在这个泥石流这个当中。
And it was amazing the last few years being able to be at Camp Kawkawa. We were able to just call up the guy that manages and runs the camp.
但是我们很有就是这个我们以前去的那个露营的地方，实际上也是来给他们帮助。
And knowing it's their off season right now, they don't have a lot of staff there. They're just kind of keeping it running. Everything's closed. We're just asking for a favor to see if someone could stay for a few nights.
所以他们实际上也没有太多的这个好像这个员工在那里，但是他们也是是能够来帮助。
And what I got back was, please bring them. We'll feed them. We'll keep them warm. We have 80 people here already.
当我问他们是不是能够有一些人能帮助的时候，他们就说把他们带过来，我们可以有容纳有80个人的这样的一个设施。
And a couple of days ago, I had a chance to catch up with Wayne again.
所以几周前我有机会跟他们当中的负责人能够聊。
And they still had a few more families left, but the majority of the people were able to begin to make their way home.
虽然他们那里还有几个家，但是大多数的家都可以正常的回去了。
And he began to share testimonies of people just being loved upon and just stories that people are going to, and his staff that he had with him were able to encourage, to build them, to share the love of Jesus in a practical way.
所以他也跟我分享，在他们的这个营地，他们的职员能够有机会能够来分享神的爱给那些需要的人。
And we feel as a family of Zion, because of our connection with them for church camp, we want to sow into that as well.
所以作为我们的教会，因为我们跟他们有这个营地去露营，有这个连接，所以我们也希望能够有机会能够在那里撒种。
And I know Pastor John sent out some pictures of what the camp looks like. They've suffered as well at the camp.
实际上焦牧师也给我们发了一些照片，他们的营地本身也遭受了一些影响的。
So there may be some practical ways we can actually get a team up and just help them out as they clean up and fix things up again.
可能也是我们当中讲不定也可以有一个小小的团队，可以过去实际的来帮助他们，当他们需要来清洁啊，来整理东西的时候。
So in the coming days, we'll send out a link on our church chat.
所以在接下来几天，可能我们在 chat 里面会发出一个链接。
With some of the practical ways that we can help in our city and in our neighborhood.
是一些就实际的，我们可以帮助我们的城市，帮助我们的这个周围的一些实际的一些项目。
And we can all sign up.
我们可以在上面来报名。
As Papa Albert said, love in action.
就像 Papa Albert 所说的，这个爱是带来行为的。
Let's walk this out as a church family here this Christmas season.
让我们在这个圣诞季节，在当地就能够来行出我们的爱来。
Pass it back to you, Pastor Caleb.
Thank you for that so clear of different ways that we can give of our money and our time.
谢谢，就是一些很实际的，我们可以奉献我们的金钱以及我们的时间。
I think for there are a few details about the difficulties of getting certain funds into certain countries, but we can make those things clear if you have questions.
可能把有一些这个奉献好像要发到有一些国家，可能有一定难度，但是我们也可以如果你有问题的话，我们也可以在这里能够来解释讲清楚。
But I think from this morning there are a few different areas that demand our response.
所以今天早上有一些不同的地方是需要我们回应的。
With our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength, we all need to respond.
我们的思想、我们的心、我们的灵魂都需要有一个回应。
But we do want to go back to responding to the Lord with our heart.
但是我们先要回到神的面前来，用我们的心来回应。
That is calling us to a life of having the Father's compassion.
是让我们这个生命是满有父的怜悯。
That can only be sustained in these days to come of spending time with Jesus.
只有当我们花时间和耶稣花时间的时候，我们才能够来保持。
So in His presence, I want to invite the Fahims again, just to lead us in our heart response in communion.
在我们在神的同在当中，我们是希望让马哈户的这个家来带领我们来领圣餐。
As we partake from the communion this morning, I have the story of Paul in Acts 20, chapter 20.
当我们领圣餐的时候，先有一个要分享保罗在那个使徒行传20章的这个经文。
And here is Paul the apostle that his techniques that made him free to go to preach, to minister, and he put this powerful statement in verse 24.
他们使徒们他们能够去各个地方来传福音，这是在使徒行传20章24节这里。
Matt had asked me to read it, so however, I consider my life worth nothing to me. If only I may finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the gospel of God's grace.
我却不以性命为念，也不看为宝贵，只要行完我的路程，成就我从主耶稣所领受的职事，证明神恩惠的福音。
So maybe we can take just a couple of minutes and I just examine my heart. Am I willing really to consider my life worth nothing?
让我们花一些时间，真的是在神的面前来检查我们的心，是不是我们真的是不以性命为念？
Am I willing really to do whatever it takes to finish the race that has set before me?
是不是我真的愿意不惜代价要来完成这个？
So before we partake the communion, let's take a couple of minutes silent.
让我们花
Just
几分
examine our hearts and pray just by yourself.
让我们在这个领圣餐之前花几分钟的时间来静默，然后真的是来检查自己的心。
Father, we thank you for you laid down your life before us.
Yes.
主啊，我们感谢你，愿意为我们真的是放下你的生命，献上你的生命。
Jesus, we thank you for coming to earth and lay down your life for us to live.
是的，主耶稣，谢谢你为我们献上你的生命。
And here we are this morning. We offer our lives again fresh before you, Lord.
主啊，我们今天早晨也是把我们的生命献上，放在你的面前。
We want to reach that point that we consider our lives, it's nothing, it's worth nothing.
我们真的也是希望，就像保罗所讲的，不以我们的性命为念。
We want to decree with all our hearts that we will finish the race.
Yes, Lord.
我们也是宣告，我们会行完我们的路程，
No matter, we will finish the race.
不管发生什么，我们要行完我们的路程，
We are your chosen people, Lord.
因为我们是你所特别拣选的。
So we choose to give you our life now,
Yes.
again.
我们选择现在把我们的生命再次交在你的手中，
Because you said, whatever has done to me, it will be done to you as well.
因为你说在我身上所做的，也会在你身上做。
So we say, we're ready, Lord. We're really ready.
主啊，我们说我们都准备好了，
But we will finish the race.
但是我们会行完我们的路程。
It's not by our human nature, but because the power of the Holy Spirit that was given to us.
不是因为我们人的能力，而是因为圣灵彰显在我们身上大
Because
能，
the power of resurrection that it's working on us
Yes.
是因为我们在我们生命当中复活的大能，
will continue to walk and to do whatever you ask us to do in this world.
我们会继续的来做，不管你是让我们怎么样，我们继续都行在你的旨意中。
What a joy, Lord, to consider us as your servant.
我们真的是你的仆人，
Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
谢谢主，谢谢你。
So let's partake from the bread and the wine together.
让我们一起来领受这个饼和这个杯。
Amen.
Our hearts were moved and touched so beautifully today.
我们的心被深深的来触动。
Lifestyle and testimony, as the message, speaks so much louder than anything else that could be said.
这个生命的见证真的是一个非常棒的，能够很好的一个。
And you know, we don't know exactly in the days to come
我们不知道将来的会发生什么，
how we can do it, but we'd love to keep hearing stories of the fruit of what God is doing in the most least expected places.
但我们只期待听到神在我们当中所行的那美善的工作，甚至就是在那些可能我们最没有期待的地方。
And I'm both terrified and excited that the Lord said, you haven't seen anything yet.
兴奋，好像也感到有点惧怕。神说：“你还没有来做，你还没有开始做我要你做的。”
And I'm gonna do my best to wrap my head around, and instead of saying this is this is their family, this is gonna be our family and our ministry as what God has planted in Zion and through Zion.
这也是神在我们西安教会所放下，这也是我们的这样一个事工。
And so when we say that, I think some people may be asking, how can we give, whether it's monthly or something like that? We'll get the details out there again.
可能有些人在问我们怎么样，好像来奉献呢？我们会把这个细节告诉大家。
But in these days, the opportunity to show compassion is, especially in the Christmas season, is going to be heightened.
所以在这个，特别是在圣诞季节，是这个机会，让我们能够来彰显神的怜悯。
And may we all respond with joyful obedience.
让我们都是很喜乐的、顺服的心来回应。
Dear family, we invite you to undo your microphones. We will have prayer teams today again.
所以大家可以把话筒打开，我们今天有祷告团队。
But you can greet one another, send your love.
可以彼此问候你的爱。
And we'll see you again soon.
我们
Tuesday.
见面，星期二再见面。
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello,
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Bye.